I started with a production called The Games Affair, and The Games Affair was a drama, six-part kid-old drama that we shot at the Commonwealth Games in Christchurch in 1974. And it came about because at the time, I think they were called the BCNZ, who used to make all their drama in-house, decided that they would let some production go into an independent sector. It was fully funded by the broadcaster. It cost $96,000 to make 6.5 hours on location in 1974. They came to me because I'd had some businesses and I just happened to have sold up at the time, and so I became a producer. That was called Endeavour Productions. And then we made a couple of documentaries, Sylvia Ashton-Warner, Maya Mars, Janet Frame. They were quite groundbreaking. I don't think that Janet Frame had been filmed for some time.
You get so that everything you see, you translate into words.
Then after that, the Broadcasting Corporation decided it didn't want independent film production. And I kept the company, and then I started managing people, and I managed music. The main thing I was doing was managing performance talent, and the key one was John Clark, Fred Dagg, and we were a kind of double act for quite a few years, and we made music. We sold more albums than anybody had ever sold, and we did concerts, and we did hats and t-shirts and books, and so then I said, let's do a movie. So we shot this short with John Clark called Dag Day Afternoon, which we began shooting on Monday morning in Wellington and finished on Friday afternoon when we got to Auckland. I saw Middle Age Spread on stage in Wellington, and so I went to Roger Hall and said, I'd like to make a movie of that. And that was, I think, the first film that the Interim Film Commission funded. I mean, everybody was going to meetings and had opinions. I was a bit of a latecomer to that because John Reid and John O'Shea and Ian Meehan had been much more vocal and had been calling for much more action. But it was a time when the television networks didn't buy independent production and they didn't buy local film. And so in a funny way, making film was actually the only outlet for a whole lot of people. The most successful of those was actually Off the Edge. Michael Firth got an Academy Award nomination, first New Zealand Academy Award nomination in the documentary section. So that was a key generator of an environment in which a film commission was born, because it showed that four projects could get going. Sleeping Dogs was the one that made the reputation for Roger and all the people that were in it. Sam Neill and we used to make those films with 25 people, and we'd shoot them in about 4 weeks. I think one of the things I've done, and I didn't think about this consciously, actually Jeff Murphy pointed it out to me, was that pretty much everything that I've done in film has been based on something that an audience already understands. So if it's Middle Age Spread, something like 80,000 people had seen the play. The next picture that I made was Beyond Reasonable Doubt. And again, there wasn't anybody in the country who didn't know what that was about. You only had to say Beyond Reasonable Doubt. And they were there. If you look latterly, whether it's Footrot Flats or Whale Rider or Siones Wedding, What Becomes of the Broken Hearted, these are projects that people understand immediately, and I think that's really important. I think those are very valid Kiwi tales. I think that they've been, they all have a place in the New Zealand landscape, and people know what they are. It didn't matter where people were in the world, they were aware of a social setting where this could happen and the implications of it and the struggle to resolve this kind of thing. But by making it as specifically as Lee and Robin did, it became accessible to people. I mean, one of the great things about South Pacific Pictures, first of all, you have Shortland Street, and Shortland Street partly because of longevity, and it's on every night and 5 nights a week, and as we do this, we're heading towards our 17th year, and that's a long time to be in people's consciences. That means that there are kids who grew up who Shortland Street has been there ever since they first watched television, and the characters and the setting and everything is familiar. And I think that Shortland Street made New Zealanders accept New Zealand drama to a degree that had not happened before. And Shortland Street is a really big catalyst in all that, and so it plays a phenomenal role in shaping the way that we see ourselves.
Back off, Shirley.
Sometimes I really feel I don't know why.
If you look at Outrageous, we didn't know it was going to run to 5 series. But at its heart, Outrageous Fortune, and I think all the other things that work for us, are simple, universal concepts. Now you dress them up in a way that gives them a specific setting, but the setting comes actually after the concept that's at the core. And Outrageous came about in part because Rachel Lang, who's one of the creators, was working on an idea for us, a different idea, and she said the median wage for women was somewhere about $14,000. So she said, how do you stay straight on $14,000? Clearly, that's not the average wage, it's the median. But if you're going to make a living on that and you're going to keep a family, I guess you're going to have to do something that's not straight. The reason that we've sold the remake rights into US, UK, Serbia, Russia, Greece, and a whole lot of other countries is because people get the notion of a family that kind of lives just a little bit on the edge, trying to go straight. And clearly that ain't going to be easy.